Good morning, DSUSD. This is Sean Webb, the Director of Community Engagement and Director of the Desert Sands Educational Foundation. We are here with our 10th episode of Classroom Conversations, where we engage the DSUSD community. We talk about everything great Desert Sands. We speak with our great community partners. We talk to teachers. We invite principals, administrators, families, parents, you name it. We talk about it here. But I want to go ahead and thank the Desert Sands Educational Foundation Board for providing this platform for us to go ahead and to present this information out. I want to go ahead and read our mission statement. The Desert Sands Educational Foundation secures funding and awards money to provide supplemental resources that enrich and enhance student learning in Desert Sands Unified School District. And our vision statement, in partnership with public and private sectors, Desert Sands Educational Foundation financially supports creative and innovative programs that enrich and enhance the educational experience in the academics, the arts, and extracurricular activities that engage all students and staff in Desert Sands Unified School District. So with that being said, I want to go ahead and bring on our co-host with the show, Miss Chef Mary. I know she's joining us from not Big Bear, but she's joining us from somewhere else. Good morning, Chef Mary. How are you?
Good morning. Yes, I'm still in San Diego. I'm on the road.
Okay.
It's already 83 degrees here, which is unusual for San Diego to be that warm this early in the morning. So it's going to be a hot one.
Oh, okay. I got you. Well, I'll tell you, I've been up since about 4 a.m. and already been outside, did my hike this morning. And when I went hiking, it was still 94 degrees.
Oh my
So,
God.
but it was a nice little 94 degrees breeze right in your face. So that was interesting.
Yeah, night before last, we decided to make a quick trip over to Costco, and I think it was like 90 something when we left. And then as we got closer to the beach, because they're not too far from the beach, actually,
Right.
You could just tell the difference within 2 miles. We went in the store, it wasn't crowded at all. We came out, and it was this cool breeze that just came out of nowhere. We thought we were like in Antarctica. It was so nice to have cold air. When we got home and we actually were able to eat outdoors. Last night, we just didn't even attempt it. It was too warm.
I got you.
I think it's humidity.
I got you. Well, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and we'll do the social media and we'll catch up with all that afterwards because we've got two guests with us today because I know they have to get to their school day. We've got Kristy Giraud, who I used to work with at La Quinta High. She was a special education teacher there when I was an AP there. She was there before you, Chef Mary, but now she's over at Gerald Ford Elementary. And we also have a surprise guest. This just happened this morning. I was able to text him and say, hey, are you available? We have the principal from Gerald Ford Elementary joining us too. So I'm going to go ahead and bring both of them on screen. We got John Preston joining us. And we got Mr. Rowe. How are you doing?
Morning, guys. How's it going?
Excellent, excellent. You know what? I gave a little kind of snippet intro there. Maybe, John, if you can give a little introduction and tell everybody, who is John Preston?
Yeah, good morning, guys. John Preston, principal at Gerald Ford Elementary School. This will be my 4th year as principal here at Gerald Ford, and had the experience of being an assistant principal at several different elementary schools for a couple of years. And I love being at Ford. Graduated from La Quinta High School in 1999 and came back to teach in the district and eventually became an administrator. The great thing about this year that's really special for me and my wife, Kelly, who's a local nurse here with Eisenhower Medical Center, is all 3 of our daughters are attending Gerald Ford Elementary School this year. So my youngest daughter is 4, and she's in TK. And my middle daughter, Macy, she's in 1st grade. And then my oldest daughter, Molly, she's in 3rd grade. So yesterday was the first day of school. It was a little bittersweet because, you know, we anticipated having all 3 Preston girls on campus. And instead, they were at my mom's house, a former DSUSD teacher, getting distance learning going. So, yeah, happy to be here. Thanks for the invite, and I hope everyone's doing well.
Hey, thank you for joining us, John. And so 1999, you graduated from La Quinta High. And Chef Mary, one person I can connect you with, John, that you know very well is Coach Armstrong. That was his football coach.
Yep.
Oh, my gosh. I love Coach Armstrong. He was a great guy. We had a good time with him.
Yeah, most definitely. Definitely. And why don't we go ahead and we'll move on to one of your great special education staff members. Kristy, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Hi, Kristy Giraud, and I'm one of the special education teachers at Gerald Ford. I'm also a product of Desert Sands, Palm Desert High School class of 2000. So
There we
rivals
go.
there. Moved away for a little while, and I actually started my teaching career in the LA area and then moved back home ultimately. And I love it. I'm also a single mom to a 6-year-old boy. And
Okay.
he also goes to Gerald Ford in first grade. So it's awesome. Again, like Mr. Preston said, you know, it was really exciting having your kid on campus with you. A little bit different. Now he is supposed to be online in his room. So fingers crossed that that's what's going on right now.
Okay.
But I just kind of like to share that because, you know, I get it. I am working full time and I'm a single mom, and, you know, he's only 6 years old, but he is in there, you know, working, and he's set up and ready to go. So.
Okay. Excellent. That's great to hear. And one of our earlier episodes, so Mary lives up in Big Bear, and Mary, why don't you share what you saw with some of your neighbors' kids and so forth with distance learning?
Yeah, it's been pretty cool because a lot of our parents are as single parents, and one day one of the guys that was working with me said, "Can I bring my son over?" And so we put him up in the kitchen. He was able to do his work, and then his little boy was able to stay online and do his homework. And all of a sudden, he says, "Daddy, it's 1:30. You know, I got my next class." And the kids next door, they're in the fourth and fifth grade. And because the weather's been really nice up there, they had a little outdoor desk set up. So they were at their outdoor desk, and then they had a neighbor, fifth grader, come over. They were all doing their work. They were all like into the computer and talking and laughing. And my neighbor said what's really nice is she's realized she sort of has a babysitter now, because for like an hour and a half, they're glued to their classroom activity, and she's able to do whatever she wants to do. But my daughter and I were talking yesterday about a situation that Mr. Preston has when you have 3 children and 2 working parents. But that has to be a huge task. You know, it's like trying to keep kittens in a box, and, you know, you still have jobs and different grade levels. And I had it, Mr. Preston. It's like, I don't know how you do it, but you have to be a model and tell us later on how it works out.
Well, we do it with a lot of help from family, so it's good to be close to home. And, you know, my parents have lived out here since the early 70s, so we definitely have a nice network. And, you know, having my mom be a former elementary school teacher, she did 40 years in the classroom. So having her with my 3 daughters, and then my sister, Kate Keener, who is a teacher on special assignment with Ed Services for elementary math. Her boys will be heading over there a couple days a week too, and they're in 5th grade and 7th grade. So she's got a handle. She says this is the lowest the lowest class size she's ever had in her 40-year career. So you know, but yeah, we are definitely lucky. I know that there are a lot of parents in the Desert Sands community and in the Coachella Valley as a whole, and across the state and the nation that, you know, are dealing with those challenges right now. Right. So we're trying to make ease the technology strain and allow everyone just put out as much information as we can so people can be informed and know where to go and how to troubleshoot if those problems arise. But, you know, most of our students, you know, they're on tablets and Chromebooks by age 4 and 5. And even before that, most of our students nowadays and our children are technology natives. They're growing up with this technology. So they are much more resilient than we give them credit for. And usually it's the adults that we have to settle down and reassure, and the kids are having a great time. So, you know, they love connecting, whether it's face-to-face or if it's via Zoom. So, you know, we're really excited about some of the programs that we put together, and especially, you know, Mr. Art here, she's our special ed lead at Gerald Ford Elementary School, and some of the great things that she has done, including our special needs students into the general education classroom, have been phenomenal. And we've seen tremendous growth in those student groups. And we're really proud of that here at Gerald Ford.
Excellent. Excellent. You know what? Why don't we get to the good stuff? Kristy, why don't you tell us what's going on in your classroom and how you're working with your families and so forth?
That's a great transition. So,
yeah, definitely.
You know, communication has been key during this time. That voice-to-voice communication has really made a difference. I mean, I know, and don't get me wrong, I'm emailing a lot too, but just that voice-to-voice communication has been key. Also, this has been an amazing time to collaborate with our gen ed teachers. You know, they have been on board and excited, and they have created some amazing things for all the students. So where I come in is, I take what, they have already done, and I want to make it accessible to our special needs kids. So I'm going to kind of share a couple of things that I, kind of put together, and it's really kind of using what we already have and making it accessible, and even kind of showing, if there are any parents out there, how they can manipulate things in so many different ways. And there's so many different ways that they can access the information that they need. So give me a second while I try and screen share here.
Yeah, definitely. While you're doing that, I'll say that one of our viewers is, thank you for sharing this information. It's on Facebook. You're sharing it in a public format, and thank you. I'm going to go ahead and show her a comment here, one of our parents. And she said flat out that her son with autism loves computer work and enjoys using it, so forth. So Lori, thank you for sharing that. And it gives me chills to awesome, have families get that personal and share that information in this public format. Pretty awesome. Thank you, Lori. But let's go ahead and we'll add your screen here. And why don't you walk us through your class? Oh my gosh, that looks awesome.
Okay, and I'm probably not going to go full screen just because I have all these tabs, and this is just going to make it easier for me, but everyone can see what I have going on here, right?
Yeah, yep.
Okay. I made just a simple, Google Classroom, and this really is kind of more of a help desk, to be honest. You really want my families reaching out to me and letting me know, what is it that you need? They come across an assignment and they're like, we don't get this. That's where I come in. And so as you can see, it's just there's a link straight to my email. This is a help document, that I developed just to kind of, what exactly is it that you need? How can I reach you? And just, various questions on what is it that you need support with, so that we can use our time wisely. So I know exactly, what we need to hit, and make sure I'm addressing what their needs are.
Okay. Now, quick question. If I'm a parent of one of your students, how do I get to that?
Okay, so I sent this to all of my parents.
Excellent. Okay.
Unfortunately, this little document, only the kids can access it through their Google account, because you have to be in the Desert Sands system. However, this will be going onto each kid's Google Classroom as a kind of like a support thing that they can always get to.
Another resource for them.
Yes. So I'll post it in each student's Google Classroom and individually to my students. So this isn't something, that everyone has access to. Okay. We want to keep with the students, knowing that, everything is in confidence and things like that. So
in each of those little boxes there, like I see they're icons, and they can click those icons. It'll take them direct to those platforms.
Exactly. And this one's linked directly to the special education department. There's some great resources on the Desert Sands page, and they are updating those almost daily with great resources. I personally, if you want some math practice, Khan Academy, I've been very impressed with it's just an extra resource for them to keep practicing skills.
So if anything, for all the families that are home helping out with their children, if they want to learn themselves, they can go to your website there and learn about Khan Academy. There we go. I love a little plug for Khan Academy. There we go.
Sorry, but it's just extra practice. As much practice as these kids can get, it's just helpful, So I found it very beneficial. And then I have Seesaw here, and I kind of wanted to show you. So K1-2 is all using Seesaw as their, their general, what they're using to push out the work. I am also using this with my 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders, and I'm going to kind of show you why. I kind of made up a mock class just because I couldn't show the privacy of the students other ways.
Of course you did. So you took the time to enter student information for students that don't even exist. I love it.
I was able to not have to add students yet. So I made a mock class so that it wasn't my exact class.
Very good. Well, thank you very much for protecting their information.
Yeah. And so the reason I personally use Seesaw is because it is accessible to everyone. I have some students with autism, and I had a mom tell me, like, oh my goodness, thank you for these Seesaw activities, because as you can see, they, if they're on a tablet, they can kind of drag things like where they need to go. They can use their fingers. It's a lot more hands-on. And so, and then what's cool is after they've done that, they're able to record themselves, and I can hear them.
Yeah.
I can hear, can they read these words, or I know where to go to next. What is it that they need help with? And I'm also able to respond to them. I can either respond to them through voice recording or typing. And it's cute. The kids get really excited when you respond to their work.
Cool.
I actually went through one of the Seesaw trainings when they did when Ed Services had it last week, and I was just amazed in the accessibility that families have to their own child's work, and then the easeability for the teacher to be able to just push out information for them. And Mary, it comes right to their phone.
Yes.
It's right there for them to access. So the accessibility, the easeability. Maybe Mr. Preston, you could talk about it being a parent. Is it pretty simple to use?
Yeah, I mean, whether it's easy to use for a parent or not, I mean, our goal is to have it easy to use for students. And
of course, definitely.
Yeah, the students can navigate it. What I really like about Seesaw is what Mr. Art said is the kids can video themselves and audio record themselves and send messages back to students. So you can actually have a true, call and response classroom virtually.
Right.
And the individual responses are able to see by the teacher, and it's just a great platform. But yeah, it's great. I mean, I've got 3 different students, and all the teachers are, they utilize different things and platforms. And to navigate between those are pretty simple. I've got apps for all of them on my phone.
Okay.
We added, my mom who's helping out, we added her as a contact, so she's getting the notifications as well.
Oh, wow.
And it is, our goal is to make, the learning transparent and to make it as easy and accessible as possible. And then, our goal is to navigate and troubleshoot any hindrances that pop up when, we have almost 29,000 students in Desert Sands right now. So, anytime you get 28,000 plus kids online at the same time, we're going to run into some issues. And, we have to be patient, flexible, and show some grace in these times, especially these first couple weeks. So we're just trying to keep parents informed and keep them in the loop and, troubleshoot any problems that arise. And we've had pretty good success, even with yesterday, the first day, little hiccups, but we had almost 620 students get online here at Gerald Ford Elementary on the first day, so that was great.
That is that's outstanding. That's outstanding. So I just want to preface, Mr. Preston, I'll flat out say that I know that students are able to use these things really easy. My daughter's not even 1, and she can navigate my phone and switch screens, and she loves FaceTiming. It's amazing. Yeah. So I know that I'll flat out say that Classroom Conversations is more for parents and so forth. So that's why I wanted to make sure how easy and simple it is to use those types of things. Definitely.
Yeah, the parents here at Gerald Ford, I know I run our Facebook page, which we have over 500 people that are following it, actively following it, and then I utilize our school messenger system through Desert Sands, and I try to send out messages daily, updates. This morning I sent one out. Day 2, here we go, some troubleshooting so we can get through iBoss, kind of get around that, some of the hiccups we had yesterday, and share the tech help and. Just links. And today I shared a couple of parent resources on how to schedule your students' time, how to set up a workspace. See some things that you might not think of on the first day, but after you go through a day or 2 of distance learning, there's just some tips and some tweaks that you can make that'll make your child's educational endeavors a little more successful in this time.
Definitely. That's awesome that I commend you on everything that you do for your social media and your communication going out. As Kristy said earlier, communication is key right now. And I learned that, here, I'm going to share a quick story. So every summer for the last 6 years, I've worked at Comic-Con. And my first job at Comic-Con was I was in charge of the American Disabilities Act line, the ADA line for all of Comic-Con. And what we learned that year is no matter Comic-Con, you can wait in lines for 24 hours, right? And people are in line, and people of all different types are waiting in lines and so forth. And my big key that year is the director of that organization, that team was no matter the information, make sure it goes out, because even if it's something they don't want to hear, they're getting informed.
Exactly.
Information is key, and I learned that in this job right now, that we want to flood out as much everything going on is possible. So, John, great job with what you're doing there. Thank you.
Yeah, a lot of the stuff I get, I feel like we have one of the best staffs in Desert Sands. I love coming to work here. I love interacting with my, parents, students, and teachers. My office staff is amazing as well.
Yep.
And they send me stuff all the time. They send me stuff and they'll say, John, can you push this out? I'm like, yeah, I'm more than happy to. So
yep.
I do get texts and emails from parents saying, sometimes I over communicate, but like you said, not everyone checks their emails every day.
Yep.
And I do phone calls, I do texts, we do emails. So we do try to over communicate so no one is left in the dark.
Definitely.
Yeah. And then different styles of communication too. So, not everyone's on Facebook. So you got to follow up through Synergy or follow up through School Messenger as well. Yep. And usually what I push out, I share with our staff as well. So they can push out individually. So students are aware. Sometimes we focus so heavily on communicating with the parents during distance learning that we lose sight that the students need to hear from us as well. So I tend to, any information that I share out, I ask my teachers to share out with their students as well, so they're hearing from me. Today and tomorrow, I'm going to be making a couple of videos for our virtual back to school night, which will be taking place next Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So the kiddos can actually see my face, hear my voice, and, hopefully so I can connect with the parents as well.
Yeah, definitely. And I do want to, I agree. It's definitely good. And I know that I want to, John, we could stay here for hours talking about everything great that's going on at Gerald Ford. I do want to point out that I believe one of your parents is watching. They're saying this information is great. And like we said, we got to keep on doing that. And then I will even point out that we do have some families that are concerned about things going on, and we are working on that. Please be patient with us, and we're aware of everything going on. And luckily, we have great staff members like Kristy, who said they're reaching out with the general education teachers. They're reaching out not just when they're within their school doors, but they're going to the other doors of the other schools, and they're making sure to connect with them. So, Kristy, let's share about a little bit more of what's going on with your classroom, okay?
So I showed you that seesaw thing, and I just kind of wanted to show with you. So Benchmark is, the district-wide curriculum that everyone's using. And I just wanted parents to see, kids can have this read to them. They press play and, it's read to them. So I just want them to know that there are so many things out there that are, making this material accessible to all. And so that was just something I wanted to share and, let parents know that, and there's something similar to the math curriculum on there. And so that was just one thing I wanted to share and, make sure parents know that those things are available to them.
So it's almost like I remember, for National Reading Day for Dr. Seuss Day, I got invited to go to some classrooms and read and so forth. And I feel like that's kind of taking the place of that, right? You can hit that play button, they'll go ahead and read, get a story. Now, is there any interactive pictures or anything that go along with that, or is it just the straight up story?
There are. You can click on some pictures and it'll describe it to you. That's something that I do in my small groups is, they might have been assigned that in the gen ed classroom. And what's great about Zoom is they have the breakout rooms.
Yeah.
And so what's cool is I can hop onto a class Zoom. And then when it's time to do breakouts, I get, a small group and we can go over that material together, whether it's we listen to it, whether we read it together. It just kind of depends on what the students need at that time. But those breakout groups we haven't started them yet. Let me say that caveat, but we will be. And I practice it a little bit over the summer, to make sure we knew how to do it. But it is great for them to, be able to still get that small group instruction, even in virtual learning.
Okay. You guys are both parents in Desert Sands, and I do see there's another comment that came up. I'm not going to show the exact comment, but they can see it on Facebook, and I'll just say that this person has multiple children in the district, and they obviously have different teachers. What is a recommendation that you would give to them when they have multiple teachers with multiple students in different platforms? What would you give as a recommendation as a family to assist them? And this can go to... Go ahead, Kristy.
I'm going to give an example because for today, and for instance, my son started class at 9. He is 6 years old. So what he and I did this morning is we pulled up all the tabs that he needed on the computer before I came on here. I have a little whiteboard above his desk. And so he came in or no, so he was able, like, there's a clock on, on the computer. So, and luckily, it's just a digital clock. So I said, at 9 o'clock, this tab, and I had it written on his whiteboard. And I mean, so far, so good, just having everything set up for them. Those tabs have made the world of difference.
Yeah.
For instance, today was a prep day. So he had library. So we had the library tab. And then at 9:30, he needs to get onto his Zoom with his teacher. So I had the Zoom tab,
Excellent
as well as the username and password right in front of him. And we practiced all of this yesterday, and it was very successful.
You know what, Kristy, with you saying those types of things, I may have you come on one of these days where we record you doing that, so we can show parents how to do that. That's an excellent suggestion there. You're preparing your son for success for the day, and that is absolutely amazing. I want to say that we do have somebody that asked a question in Spanish. They're asking, will this be interpreted in Spanish? I'll say that this is a foundation production, and that the great thing about Facebook is that if you have your captions on, it will go ahead and caption our conversation in any language that you have.
Oh.
So yeah, that's pretty cool that
great.
Facebook has that. Yeah. Okay. Excellent. So, Mr. Preston, Kristy, thank you very much for joining us this morning. I know that you guys got classes to go to and so forth. I want to give you one last second. Any last message to your families and so forth? I'll go to you, Mr. Preston.
Yeah, I would just piggyback on what Kristy was saying is, preparation is the key. We're all going to encounter technology issues. The whole entire nation is facing that right now. So, be patient with those. We're working on those, home with either the MiFis or on our end through the district. But front-loading your child and showing them where and how to navigate through their different links ahead of time and having those tabs open is key to your child's success. So definitely front-load your student. This is where they're going. Make a daily schedule. Work on that schedule, and we're all in this together, so we be as flexible as possible.
Most definitely. And Kristy, any comments to our families watching?
It's amazing what these kids are capable of. I mean, they know this technology better than we do, even our special needs kids, so we just need to put the confidence in them and let them know that, we know that they can do it, and just embrace it.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with that. So we will definitely embrace this. We'll go through this with open minds. Guys, have a great rest of the school week. I hope to reconnect with you guys maybe in a couple weeks. You guys give us a little status update. I think that'd be really cool if we could do that. All right. Thank you very much. We'll see you.
Thank you guys. Have a great day.
Have a good day. See you, Mr. Preston.
So what'd you think about that, Chef Mary? What's going on at Gerald Ford Elementary?
It's incredible. I had a chance when I went up to Big Bear as a volunteer at the school system to do a one-on-one with a special ed student. And it was far more rewarding than I ever expected it to be, to see when the light bulb sort of comes on, or when you're doing something and all of a sudden, they interact with you. We did, the teacher I was working with was just incredible. And he was studying George Gershwin that day. And they were doing some of the musics from his opera. And one of the songs was, "It Ain't Necessarily So." So we played it. And then one of the other students said, "Oh, there's sort of a rock and roll version of that." And we're like, going, holy cow, like, how did he even know that? Right. And then one of the students was one of their leading football players. And he was kind of quiet in the back. So we kind of pulled him in and talked about football moves and explaining, how the football field was laid out, just to get him engaged in the conversation. And the day was fabulous. I mean, so I appreciate what Kristy does, that at the end of the day, I always felt if my students learned one thing, and if I could ask them what that one thing was, I had a good day with them, even in the culinary program.
Definitely, most definitely. I do want to point out, so we did have some more comments here, and I'll mention that some families are wondering about like trainings for technology and so forth. So I'll share with you, Chef Mary. This is kind of exciting. So this platform that we are with StreamYard and the foundation provides it has gone. I'll say it's gone viral through Desert Sands. We're hosting events in the evening. Where I'm hosting like Palm Desert Charter Middle School next Tuesday. I've hosted Palm Desert High School on Sunday, Shadow Hills last week. We just a number of different things that we've hosted, where now Ed Services, last Thursday, we hosted our first event where it's moving forward, our plan with DSUSD. And with that being said, we're going to have some more of those coming forward. So I highly suggest to follow us on YouTube. That's where that is traditionally posted and so forth. It's on our DSUSD Live YouTube page. You can subscribe there. You'll see when we go on. But it looks like we're going to start that next Thursday at 6 o'clock. And Mary, we're going to continue it every Thursday at 6, I believe. We're actually got some meetings coming up. I'm kind of giving some information here, but we're looking to continue it every Thursday evening where it's information for families. And we started off last week. We had 2,700 people watching the whole time, Mary.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, 2,700 people watching. That was pretty awesome. And
well, I think in this new media situation too,
yep.
Mr. Webb, you have normally when your child goes to school, you have not a clue what goes on until they come home at 3 o'clock and tell you they didn't do anything and they have no homework. And now you can actually see, what's going on, and you can actually understand some of the, how it works, the progress of it, the amount of work that's in it. And I think when we were all sitting here talking, like I meant to Mr. Preston, when you have 3 children and 2 working parents, that's a lot. I would not want to be in that position. Luckily, he's got a lot of family nearby. But the fact that they can stand behind a student and watch what's going on and see what's going on, it has to be a learning curve for them, because sometimes when I was helping Maddie with homework, I didn't have a clue what it was asking because it's changed.
That's what I said. That's what I was saying. It's, we all have to go to Kristy's website and we can take some tutorials there on different math skills and so forth. Definitely. Now, I wonder if he's still available. I know his camera's still on, but I do have a question. Like, for secondary schools, it's very simple for social media information to go out because kids have social media. A lot of the social medias, you have to be the age of 14. So I'm wondering what's the easiest way that Mr. Preston, knowing that his students don't have Twitter, they don't have Instagram, they don't have Facebook. I'm wondering if he could maybe give me a motion if he's listening on camera. I know his camera's on, but yeah, okay, he's giving me a motion. I'm going to call him on here because I would love to know how they communicate. Because as a secondary person, it was really simple to communicate. And Mr. Preston, did you hear all that that I was talking about?
Yeah, and that is a challenge. We have students here in elementary, transitional kindergarten students are 4 years old when they start school. So
yeah.
You're talking about communicating with, a student population that goes from 4 years old all the way up to 11 or 12 years old. That's the largest age span of any grade level, elementary, middle, or high school.
Right.
So, we also, we have 6 different grade levels here at the elementary level as well that we have to contend with. So communication is key. There are a lot of great educational apps out there. Class Dojo is one of the most popular ones. And students can get information right away. Also, Dr. May Vollmer, the Assistant Superintendent of Educational Services for Desert Sands, she had turned on email services for all of our elementary students. So once you are a student at Desert Sands, you get an email address that is myds.us. So mydesertsands.us, and it would just be your first and your last name. And teachers are able to push out emails to students. That's on the secure district browser. A lot of my parents and students access through Remind, which is another app for students and parents, and Class Dojo. And Class Dojo is great because it's not only a communication piece, but it's also a classroom management piece. Teachers, each student gets to pick a little monster icon as their avatar. And they get positives and kudos throughout the day. They can also, get negative points if they're, messing around or goofing off. But it does have a classroom management component as well, which is nice. But another way that they're communicating is through the social, the Google Classroom feed. So it's kind of like a Facebook or an Instagram feed where every single person posts on a classroom. So, for example, Mrs. Hanmer, one of our 4th grade teachers here at Gerald Ford, she has a Google Classroom, and she'll post something. Good morning, boys and girls. Today's the day 2 of learning. How are you feeling this morning? And then students can comment underneath it, and everyone can read each other's comments. And she's a moderator. Myself, I'm a moderator on all of my Google Classrooms for my teachers. And then my instructional coach, Julia Albrecht Burbank, she's a moderator as well. So if there is any, anything inappropriate or off topic, we can have a gauge on that. And then once someone makes a comment, it sends an email notification to the teacher and all the students in the class. So I could post something and say, Chef Mary and Sean, how you guys doing today? Day 2 of distance learning. And, Mary can wake up and say, oh, it's great. I'm doing distance learning from San Diego. I get, after lunch, I'm going to have lunch on the beach, and then I'm going to come back and Zoom later. And, and Sean could post like, wow, I'm here and it's 90 degrees at 8 a.m. I wish I was with Chef Mary in San Diego. And everyone can see that.
Okay.
So there's a lot of different ways that we can connect with the students and have their voices heard. But yeah, using the Google Suite and all the different apps that come with Google, it's great because it's a total collaborative tool, and it just allows teachers and parents and students to all interact and engage with each other, especially during this time where everyone's craving, human interaction.
Yeah, definitely.
Exactly. To me, it's like a virtual handshake or a hug. Because it's proven that when you meet someone, you go, "Hey, how are you doing?" and they go, "I'm doing really well." The communication that goes back and forth is sort of like it's a little buzz that you've said something nice and you feel good about it, and they've said something nice and they feel good about it, but you feel good about it. So I think that's really cool. It gives them a chance to say, "Hey," gives them a voice.
Yeah, it does. It gives them a voice because I'll tell you, I've been in kindergarten rooms on Monday morning, and you know what they want to tell you? They want to tell you everything they did that weekend. So and
that's a lot of stories. That's a lot of stories.
Everyone wants to be validated and everyone wants to be heard. And that positive affirmation is a huge, crucial part of social emotional learning nowadays, especially with the lack of human interaction and socialization. So being able to have students, voices be heard and validated, it's a huge opportunity for students, teachers, and parents to connect and kind of get a gauge on, everyone's social emotional well-being.
Yeah, I mean, we're so used to having an immediate response. I mean, when I grew up, you had a phone, and when you came home, there was no message center, or you mailed a letter in the mail, and you got it, something 5 or 6 days later. And now it's like when your phone clicks off, you're responding like in seconds. And if they don't respond back, you're like going, "What the heck? How come you didn't call me back while I was in my car driving?"
I'll have to talk to Steve and see how many times, and I'm sure John might have done this too, where we beat our parents to the mailbox, and we always checked the mail before it got to them.
Oh yeah.
Now it's an instant culture.
Yeah.
Everything is instantaneous at your fingertips. So.
Yeah. I was when I was doing temporary work at the high school up there, I had a chance I was working in the cafeteria. The kindergartner kids came through, and they were in line and they were crying because they didn't know what they wanted to eat. And they were little teeny tiny kids with trays. And so they went out in the dining room. And so I went out and just sat down with them because some of them didn't want to eat. They didn't like what they had. And the same thing, we were talking about, what do you like to eat? And all of a sudden they were all telling me what they don't like, what they do like, what their mom cooked, what they had for the weekend. And I was like, oh, geez, I have opened up the whole line of conversation with these little 4-year-olds. They were so cute.
You can't put the toothpaste back in the tube once you've asked that question. You know what I mean? You better carve out an hour of your day.
It was pretty awesome. I just had to laugh about the whole thing. It was kind of makes your day that these little voices have so much stuff to say at the age of 4.
Well, Brooklyn has a ton to say. I just don't understand it yet before the age of 1. Well, Mr. Preston, we're going to go recap the week and so forth. Thanks again for jumping back on with us. We appreciate it.
Yeah, sounds great. If you're on Facebook, check out Gerald R. Ford Elementary School. That's our page that we run. And then you can always head to desertsands.us and go to schools tab. And it has a link to the Gerald Ford website, which we post all of our resources and schedules and great programs for our students as well. So, yeah, check those out. Thank you guys for the opportunity to share about our school.
You got it. We'll see you later, Mr. Preston.
Bye, guys. Have a great day.
Yeah, you too.
Bye.
Great information, great administrator. I just love hanging out with Mr. Preston. He just has some awesome things going on.
He's a great guy. I mean, that's a lot to orchestrate. When you particularly like the one comment when they have 3 kids in different schools and different. I mean, that has to be a learning curve for the parent, how to feel, even how to administer their day. Unless it's lucky if you've just got a couple of kids in the same school. That's going to be a challenge. I know here in San Diego, they're still not going back to school until after Labor Day, but they're talking about opening us up in San Diego. So I'm thinking like all this work they're prepping to do to get ready for virtual learning could come to a screeching halt, and all of a sudden you're back on campus again.
Right.
That's going to be another transition.
Well, as we shared earlier on, Chef Mary, Desert Sands adopted the plan that we're in virtual learning, then we move to hybrid, then we go to traditional, and that's all. We're working with the county and the state, right? We have to follow the guidelines through them. But I do want to mention we got some more live viewers and comments. This is fun because I work with her directly with Mr. Bailey. She's in the superintendent's office. Adriana said great information coming out about the virtual classroom. So thank you for the kudos there, Adriana. That's awesome. And the same parent who shared about her children and so forth, she gave us some suggestions here about free activities, that you could do with your children and so forth. And I would say that these are not just for students of special needs, but these are great activities for all students going on right now. And a lot of that information is we've got a great group. It's called CPAC. And these are the parents of students of the special needs and so forth. And they have their own Facebook page too. And they're here it is, the Special Education Parent Advisory Committee for Desert Sands. And this is a group of parents, Mary. This is not Desert Sands. Well, Desert Sands recognizes them and so forth, but this is a parent group that meets on their own. They have their Zoom meetings. They had some webinars of their own just to put their parents at ease. And we actually had Tammy Manini, their president, on with us in special education earlier in the week. So a lot of great things going on with Desert Sands. But let's recap the week. Let's get some information going out here. So as we shared, we had Welcome Week going on. I posted a picture of my favorite picture from summers of Tara and I in Brooklyn in Big Bear when we got away. But I'll tell you, yesterday was Dress for Success, and I saw some screens, and I saw students at Dress for Success. It was kind of cool. As well as, so today, this is one of the coolest days that I think is going on this whole week, is Thursday is 3 Things Thursday. This is where we're asking our students to write something down or put it in your phone, commit to making 3 goals, 3 personal goals for the school year, write them down. And if you want, share them on social media. We want to know what those goals are. We want to see what you're all excited about. And then tomorrow, Chef Mary, if you have it, wear your Black Hawk chef coat, all right? And maybe take a picture. It's all geared up in school gear, okay?
Oh, I will. I even have a picture with the Black Hawk mascot.
That's right. You know what? Maybe you'll have to post that for us as a little Throwback Thursday, but I don't know what Throwback Thursday would be for Friday, but you know what I mean. But let's go over some of the social media going on here at Desert Sands. We posted about the first day, and as Mr. Preston was saying, I'll flat out say we had some issues with our servers, some things with our Chromebooks, where people had to reset them and so forth, and we realized there were some concerns and issues with that, and we just asked for, thank you for our families who are very patient, and as you're learning about this, I jokingly said, Mary, that we're like 15 minutes ahead of people. I feel that's where we are right now. Things are constantly changing. But, I'm going to go to the next picture on the right there. Do you know who that is?
No.
So that is Butters. Butters is a member of our special education department. And Butters is a therapy dog that will come and sit with your child and so forth when you're having sessions with Sue Ann Block, who's one of our employees with Desert Sands Unified School District. And so she's housed. She's housed out of the district office or at Summit Horizon. Regardless, Butters is one of the most popular staff members in Desert Sands.
I can imagine.
Definitely. As we said here, working together is a new world of distance learning. It takes patience and understanding, as we said. We're aware of that. And then because of that last night, we had some routine maintenance going on, but we upped it and to talk about our servers and so forth and to upgrade them. So the beautiful thing is, yes, we had some issues yesterday and we had some things happen, but we were able to pivot and change and adjust immediately. So
Oh, yeah.
I'm hoping to hear that today's a little bit better for our families and so forth, and I'm looking forward to hearing about that. But at the end of the day yesterday, as well as in the morning. So I'll start with the one on the right. That is Dr. Montano, who's the principal over at Jackson. So that's over in North Indio, just on this side of the 10.
Yep.
And they have they have a pretty awesome program there. It's dual language.
Oh, wow.
So if you're in kindergarten there, half of the class is taught in English and half is taught in Spanish, and that continues all the way through fifth grade. With the idea that you're going to go through fifth grade and you're going to be able to speak and write fluently in both languages. How cool is that?
Well, when Steve was, when he was little, he was in a private school in Virginia called Grasshopper Green.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he was because we held him back a year. He went too early and he wasn't really ready to be a second grader, so we held him back. And he had a Senora Hankova, and they were in Spanish in Virginia.
Okay, excellent.
And so they had a whole class in there, and then Miss Jackie was their primary teacher.
Okay,
and he learned really quickly, and from a non-Spanish speaking family. I mean, it was amazing how quickly they learned.
Imagine if not just one class of your day is that, but imagine if half of your days in Spanish, half of your days in English, and as they're a sponge at kindergarten. The heck, Brooklyn's a sponge now. It's funny when I raise my hand, she raises her hands. It's kind of funny, but I'll say that other picture there on the left there, I've got to give credit to Mrs. Norton and a couple of her staff members. KESQ came in after school to talk about the day and so forth, and they were able to speak about everything that went on during the day and to let people know that their school ended on a high note. So that was pretty cool. Let's see. Oh, grab and go meals. We got to share about this. So grab and go meals are a little bit different now. Mondays and Wednesdays, they happen from 7:30 to 10 at every school that we have students at. I was over at Page Middle School talking to them. Each school is a little bit different because this is not the same thing as the summer program where it was under the federal government and so forth, where everything was just free and take. So each of the schools are under different qualifications, and some of the schools you go there and it's for free, and other schools you have to check in and you may have to pay. But what we are encouraging, Mary, is for all of our families to apply for the meal program, the meal application, because things are changing every day. So it doesn't hurt to apply, because if you apply for that program, it'll give you some type of percentage. You may get some type of reduction, or might be free. So we're asking all of our families to go online through the nutritional service to fill that out.
And bringing up the food situation, right now I'm in the middle of updating all of our menus and pricing and whatever. And the chef said to me, "Don't be surprised in October if 30% of those are gone and we change again," because they're fighting the same battle that you are with. Everything is a 15-minute window of what's going to change. How we're going to take care of our guests that come to the mountain. What about our ski season? How are we going to feed them? What about the weather? It goes way beyond the school system as well on how to make this work, and then communicating information back and forth with ideas. And we're still kind of hanging out there a little bit because we also have the weather to be concerned about. If we have no snow and it's too warm, there's no way to put snow on the mountain. But then if it's really cold, there's no way for them to eat inside.
Right.
So it's I think everyone can appreciate that we all are in a situation that we're just adjusting by the minute.
Definitely. Let's see here. What else do we have? Parent View, that's the app that parents can have that'll sync up, and they can see about attendance, they can see grades for their students and so forth. And that's powered by our student information systems called Synergy. I do want to point out, so I follow because I was an administrator at Palm Desert, I follow the Palm Desert High School PTO and Foundation page, and on Facebook. I'll tell you, Mary, they're one of the most, like Mr. Preston, they get information out there fast. They have great communication with their families. And this was a tech tip that they were able to reach out and find out yesterday. And this is something that all the students should be doing every single day, is at the end of the day, turn off your Chromebook. Not just put down the top, but physically turn it off, shut it down. Because then when you restart it, it gets all the updates. And from what I understand, Yeah, from what I understand, that was some of the issues that happened yesterday. Is not everybody fully did that from the summer. So yeah, a lot of great things, a lot of things that happened over the last couple of days. So yeah, I also want to share. I don't have pictures yet because I don't want to let the cat out of the bag. But we're filming a special, a 30-minute special for KESQ, that the foundation is going to highlight everything Great Desert Sands.
Oh, good.
And
Oh,
so I'm trying to compare this in your world, Mary. So we were given like a 8-10 day time frame to film, edit, and capture 30 minutes for television. I want to say that's kind of like finding out you have a wedding for 300 in 72 hours. Yeah, so you can only imagine what our days have been like. This is actually the first morning since this is one of the latest mornings I'll be leaving to go start the rest of my day over
oh my God.
editing and so forth. But it should be a really great special. It's actually going to be here's a little change. It was originally scheduled for the 30th. Well, know what? We're changing to prime time. They got us on Saturday night at 6:30. So it's kind of
No.
cool. Yeah, Saturday the 29th. So we'll have some snippets and some little sneak peeks of what's going on with that for next week. I'll share that out, as well as we'll talk about our new IT sponsor for the year. We'll talk about our new discount card for the staff that we have coming up. Got some of our major sponsors that were on last year that have continued on this year. So a lot of
Oh,
great things going on, definitely. And I do want to put this out. I brought this up earlier, and Lori, thank you for following and so forth. And just so everybody knows, and this goes out to you too, Lori, my email address is there, and I'd love for you to contact us because you know what, Chef Mary and I, wouldn't you say that this is engaging the DSUSD community where we have staff, we have students, and we've had parents on. So
no.
anybody who's an avid follower like you are, Lori, we'd love to have you on, and we can we can talk. So definitely shoot me an email. But there it is. The Special Education Learning at Home by Beth Owen is on the 25th. So that's
Oh,
going to be
that's
in
awesome.
5 days. Yeah. So that's fantastic that the CPAC group is doing that, and they realize that in these platforms and social media and so forth, this is a great way to contact families. Definitely.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Mary, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to let you go. Like I said, I've got a full day of editing, and luckily we captured all the video. Now we're going through it. And there's a lot
Oh,
of
that's
great
awesome.
things.
Really excited to see it. It'll be fun.
Yeah, yeah, I can't wait to share it with you, and we'll definitely have a lot of fun with it. But Chef Mary, you enjoy San Diego, you enjoy time with your family,
I
and
am.
I will definitely catch up with you in backstage here. Okay?
Okay, cool. See
All
you
right,
later.
you got it. And Desert Sands Unified School District and the foundation, thank you again for watching. We like I said, we want to get out as much information and communicate that to you as fast as possible. You have my email address there. You can follow me at Desert Weber. You can message me. Let me know what you want to hear about, and we'll make sure to get it to you. All right, have a good one. We'll see you Tuesday, and have a good day. Bye bye.
Bye, guys.